after his meeting with the Turkish Prime Minister, the Prime Minister was asked about his meeting with the World Bank IMF chiefs, and it was also asked what does he expect from this meeting. So the Prime Minister started by saying that the IMF Executive Board is meeting tomorrow in Washington, and he said that we are very hopeful that it will approve. It will soon. He didn't say whether it will approve it on Wednesday or later, but he said it will soon approve the package for Pakistan. As you know, Pakistan has requested a package of $7 billion, which is known as the extended fund facility, and it is a 37-month arrangement, which means that Pakistan will get this $7 billion in 37 months, and in of course in annual or in installments, or sometimes there are two or three installments in a year too, but usually it is sort of one installment a year. And but the Prime Minister sounded very, very hopeful. Now, of course, you will ask why is the Prime Minister so optimistic? So the Prime Minister explained that in his briefing too. He said that the IMF had put very strict conditions, and according to some media reports, they had asked Pakistan to arrange additional financial support of up to $12 billion from bilateral donors, friendly countries, as well as other financial institutions and commercial banks. And so the Prime Minister, in his briefing, named three nations that it said made it possible for Pakistan to qualify for this bailout package from the IMF. The first nation, or the first friendly country that he mentioned, was China. I said, like in the past, China was the first to come forward and offer the support. He didn't say how much money China offered or what sort of support it provided, but he said that he came forward and offered the support that Pakistan needed. Then he said another close ally, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates as well. These two allies also provided the required financial support that encouraged the IMF to consider Pakistan's request. And he indicated, he didn't say in so many words, but he indicated that he hopes the bank's executive board, when it meets tomorrow, it will endorse Pakistan's request. As I explained, it was very difficult. Of course, first Pakistan had to implement in the spirit the previous agreement of about $3 billion, and after releasing the last tranche of the previous agreement late last year, the IMF said in its report that Pakistan successfully implemented the conditions that it had agreed in the first agreement, and it said that they hope that now Pakistan will also be able to implement the conditions that will be a part of this agreement. Obviously, the conditions, as you know, are very obvious. Pakistan had to sort of actually, people of Pakistan have been affected by those conditions. Like, it has led to an increase in energy prices. It has caused an increase in electricity prices. It has also increased direct and indirect taxes. So all those things that are very bitter, but that are part of the new arrangement as well. And Pakistan will have to implement those conditions, because, as I said, we're not going to get the entire $7 billion in one go. It will be given in annual installments, which means that every time the IMF feels that we are not fulfilling the promises that we made as part of the agreement, it can stop the installments, and it has stopped the installments in the past. So that is, I think, how Pakistan convinced the IMF to consider its request, and that is how it can ensure that it continues to receive the annual installments. It is not an easy situation for Pakistan. Obviously, no government wants to increase the tax burden on its people. No government wants to increase energy and electricity rates, because that obviously makes the government look bad. And if you are an elected government, if you are seeking re-election, if you want people to vote for you, then you want to stay on their right side. You want to stay popular. Increasing taxes, increasing prices, obviously makes you unpopular. But it is a very difficult situation. Pakistan somehow has to come out of it, and the only way to come out of the situation, is to reduce our expenditure and increase our income, including increasing the taxes that the government's revenue. That is not happening because we do not have. The only way you can increase your income is but to increase your exports, you need to invest money into the economy to produce the things that you can that you can export. And that is not happening because we do not have money to invest in exports, to produce the things that we can export. And that is why what we are doing right now is to borrowing money from lenders not to pay our loans. We do not have enough to pay our loans, just to pay interest on the loans that we have borrowed in the past. That means every year the interest increases, as does the amount that we borrow from other lenders, and the situation will continue to get worse as long as we do not reach the right balance between our expenditures and our income.